Hey everyone, this is Rabdia's blog, and welcome to another of my general discussion series. Today's general discussion is going to be on, can you do a video about if some of the good movies came out in a very bad timing for theaters? So in other words, name off some good movies that came out at a very bad time for theaters. And the person who recommended me this question is Boobop1987, and you can check out her channel in the description box below. So, what were some good movies I can think of that came out at a bad time and when for theaters? Um some movies I could think of, one movie I could think of is All Dogs Go to Heaven. That came out in 1989. That came out the same year as The Little Mermaid. So you can see what happened there. I thought All Dogs Go to Heaven was a pretty good movie, but because it came out at the same time The Little Mermaid came out, it didn't really do as well as they could at the box office, or it got to that point where a lot of people remember the Little Mermaid a little more than they do with All Dogs Go to Heaven, despite the fact that All Dogs Go to Heaven was a pretty good film. I thought it was pretty good, but again, it came at the same time the Little Mermaid came around, so of course it got kind of shafted in a sense because of airing at airing premiering in theaters at the same time the Little Mermaid came around. um Another movie I can think of that was a pretty good film but aired at a bad time in theaters was Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And it might be because Warner Bros didn't really promote the movie very well or something like that, or it came around the same time as The Lion King. Now I can't remember if Batman Mask of the Phantasm came before The Lion King or after. Well, I'm pretty sure it's before The Lion King or at the same time as The Lion King. But was competing with other more popular animated movies at the time, and it didn't get that kind of recognition. I mean, a lot of people, still think that Batman Mask of the Phantasm is one of the best superhero animated movies ever made so far. But at the time it came out, it was competing with a lot of animated movies that were bigger than Batman Mask and the Phantasm. So, Batman Mask of the Phantasm still remains a cult classic to this very day. And another movie I can think of is The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Um, that's more like a box office flop, but I thought it was a pretty good film that I thought didn't get a lot of attention that it deserved. Like, it probably came out in the same year as Beetlejuice. I know Beetlejuice also came out in 1988. So it was probably like trying to it was competing with a lot of other movies that were better than it. Oh, and the same year Who Framed Roger Rabbit also came out in 1988, I believe. So Baron Munchausen was like really competing with all these movies that were like better or are more popular than it. And so it got kind of shafted in a sense. But I thought Baron Munchausen was a really good film, but again, it was competing with a lot of good movies that year. So it probably didn't wasn't able to do that well at box office at all. So that's another movie I could think of that came out in a bad time for theaters. And then another movie I can think of is, let's see, all the Disney films that came out in the 1940s. Now, the big reason for that, when I mentioned Disney movies that came out in the 1940s, like Pinocchio, Dumbo, Bambi, and all those, Fantasia. I heard that they none of them did well because of World War II happened, and that was a good example of some movies that were all very good, but they came out at a very bad time. Like, they came out during World War II, and therefore the movies wasn't able to do that well in theaters, and it forced Disney to do the packaged movies like Make My Music and Melody Time and Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad. And they didn't do full length feature films until the 1950s, I believe. So, yeah, that was another good example of movies that were pretty good, but they came out at a very bad time, and in that case, it was because of World War II happening at that time. So those are some examples of some movies I know that were really good, but they came out at a very bad time for theaters. So what do you think? What are some movies that you thought were pretty good, but they came out at a very bad time when they came in theaters? Please feel free to comment below, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter so I can keep you updated on any new videos I post up. Well, I hope you enjoyed this general discussion. This is Rabbit's blog, and I'll see you later.